Am I sitting on the floor? Yes. Is there a reason? Not really. Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be unhauling some books. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just unhaul books a couple of months ago? I did. I'm gonna unhaul some more. I've been thinking for a couple of weeks now that there's some books that I've read and I don't really feel like I need to keep, or maybe I haven't read and I know I'm not gonna get to them. I don't know exactly how many. I might only end up unhauling 3 books. I might end up unhauling 10. Who knows? The last time I unhauled books it was 15. So I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. But yeah, these are my shelves. I am sitting on the floor because I figured I'll start on the bottom. Might as well. There's not really a point. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it. The bottom shelf is my completed series shelf, so it's a series where I own all of the books with 2 exceptions. So up here we have the Chronicles of the Avatar, which the first book is The Rise of Kyoshi, and then the second book is The Shadow of Kyoshi. The third book just came out, but it's about a different avatar. It's about Yang Chen, so I'm considering it to be a different series. And then underneath that, I have the Graceling series by Kristen Kishore, and I don't yet have Winterkeep, but I've been considering this a completed series since way before Winterkeep was ever a thing, so I'm keeping it on the shelf. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go through shelf by shelf and talk about my books and take some off to unhaul. I'm gonna move when it becomes important to you. So I'm not gonna be sitting on the floor to get the books off the upper shelves. That's stupid. I'll be raising the camera as best as I can to get to those shelves. But yes, let's start with this bottom shelf. So, like I said, this is my completed series shelf. So we have Raven Rings, favorite series of all time. Well, no, not my favorite of all time, but definitely up there. I love the series so much. Cannot wait for Siri Pedersen's new series. I think the first book was supposed to come out in November, but now it's coming out in January or something. I don't know. It was pushed back. It happens. Like I said, I have Kyoshi, and then I have some series from when I was a kid that I really don't think I'm ever going to get rid of. This stack is the Tunnel series, and then I have a trilogy that I don't know the name of. Grey Griffins, I think. Both of these series are my boyfriend's, and they're just on my shelf because he doesn't have a lot of room on his shelf out in the living room. Then I have the Removable Parts series. Obviously, I'm not getting rid of those. And then down this way, you can't see, but I have some more books from when I was a kid, like the Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, some stuff from high school. I just now am seeing that I put Mistborn upside down when I had pulled it out for video the other day. That's great. I have my Inheritance Cycle, and then the Hunger Games. Honestly, I think I might get rid of the Hunger Games. I think that might be the first to go. I'm thinking about it. I kind of wanted to get rid of them a year ago, but I saved them because we were reading the trilogy for the Nostalgia Train book club, and I wanted to participate. And so that's why I still have them, but I think it's time to go. I don't think I'm ever going to reread them, but I think I'm going to see if my sisters want this or one of my friends. That's what I want to do with all the books, is see if someone I know wants them first, and then donate to probably Goodwill if no one I know wants them. So let me shimmy down this way and pull it off my shelf so that's not taking up space. This is a very lovely box set, but I feel like if it was the original covers, because I did own them originally and then got rid of them, and then my mom got me this box set. I don't know, I feel like if it was the original ones, I'd be a little bit more sentimental and not want to get rid of them, but I'm not really sentimental about this. Also, I just realized I'm in intense shadow because my gigantic chair is right here. But I'll put that back up there, and we'll put this to the side and move on to the upper shelf. Okay, so this second shelf up we have all of my books that are part of a series that I don't own the whole thing of. So most of them, I just own the first one. Some of them, like over here, I have the first two, first three, that kind of thing. I just don't own all of them. This stack is all my really tall ones, and I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of any of them. At least not at this point. So we have Zodiac, The Crow Rider, The Wizards of Once, Shadow of the Fox, Blood Like Magic, Dance of Thieves, Caraval, Enchante, which I think is now called All That Glitters. And these are all books either that I read and I loved, like Shadow of the Fox and Zodiac, and I just never got on with the series. Caraval, I did finish the series. I don't plan on getting the other books in the series, but I do really love this first one and I want to keep it. Other ones like Enchante, I'm just very interested in reading it eventually. Blood Like Magic, this kind of hurts to say, but I'm probably going to get rid of it after I get the sequel and read it. I do very much want to read Blood Like Fate, but I don't think they're books that are going to stay on my shelf. Because while I liked the first one, it just didn't have that impact, that staying power with me. And so I think I'm going to buy the second one, read it, and unless that one like absolutely blows me away, I think I'm gonna give them to one of my best friends because I feel like she would enjoy them way more than I did. But like I said, I did not hate these. I do want to read the second one. I did enjoy the first one. It's just not something I can see myself revisiting over and over again. And we have, oh, this is a standalone. Don't know why I have this on my series shelf. So I have There by Tommy Orange, which is a standalone and on the wrong shelf. So we're gonna put this up here for now and fix that later, I guess. This isn't the first time this has happened. I remember a couple of times ago when I don't know if I was unhauling books or reorganizing my shelves, but I noticed that I had my bind up of Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights on my standalone shelf, which yes, technically they're standalones, but they should have been on my classic shelf. Now they're on my classic shelf. Now I have a different book in the wrong spot. But yeah, a lot of these, actually I don't know if this is a series either, but also this is one that I might be getting rid of. This might just be a standalone. So this is Dealing in Dreams by Lilian Rivera, and I bought this because it was $1 at Dollar Tree like a year or so ago, and the cover is so gorgeous. I don't know what's up with this like yellow and like blue tealish color combination, but I'm obsessed. But I don't even remember much what this was about. It says, at night, Las Mal Criadas own these streets. Nala leads the fiercest all-girl crew in Mega City. That role brings with it violent throwdowns and access to the hottest bodega clubs, but the 16-year-old grows weary of her life. So it sounds kind of like sci-fi-esque, and also sounds like it might be queer. That might be why I picked it up beside the cover. But this one, I'm going to have to look it up later if it is part of a series or if it's on the wrong shelf, like there. I might keep this one, and like if I don't feel hooked from the beginning, I'll get rid of it later. But for now, I'm going to put it back on the shelf, even though it's probably in the wrong place. And then we have some other ones. I'm not going to read all of them out to you. I don't know why I started doing that, but other books that either I read the first one of and I liked it, haven't continued on, like House of Furies and Wicked Fox. Other ones that I've had for ages and just never read for some reason, like Before She Ignites, Roar, but those are all ones that I'm still pretty interested in. Down this way, we've got some more books that I bought at the Dollar Tree because I buy so many books from there. I have the first two books in the Seafire series. I bought Seafire, which I don't know if that's the name of the series. Yeah, it's a Seafire trilogy. Okay. But the first book, Seafire, I bought like 3 years ago. Did it even come out then? Am I just exaggerating? 2018. No, I bought it like 3 years ago and read it, loved it. And then like a year ago, I saw the second book, Steel Tide, in Dollar Tree and bought it. and I haven't gotten to it yet, and I'm just now realizing this has like a matte finish, and this one's very glossy and smooth, and I don't know how I feel about that. I do remember that I was a little bit disappointed in this book. There's a motorcycle going past, we're gonna keep going. I was a little bit disappointed in this book because it felt a little bit queerbaity with two of the characters, and then it wasn't. I don't know. I still am very interested in continuing, hence why I bought the second book, but I'm gonna wait until I own the third book. I don't remember what it's called. I'm gonna wait till I own the third one, and then I'm gonna try and binge the trilogy. And then I have my Lemony Snicket stack here. I'm going to be collecting a series of unfortunate events and all the wrong questions, but only in like thrifted books. And then I don't know, I just have more. These two, Trail of Lightning and Storm of Locusts, could probably go on the finished series shelf because there's no word on if more will ever be out, but like it's not complete, it's not specifically a duology. It just, the author hasn't been contracted to write more, but I really hope she does write more because I love these books. They're so good. And then the last on these shelves that I just wanted to point out are The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. Loved The Name of the Wind, was very much loving Wise Man's Fear up until the last like 25-30%, and I absolutely hated it. Still so intrigued to read the third one whenever that comes out. So I don't know, I'm keeping them, and if the third one absolutely sucks whenever it comes out, then I'll unhaul them, but for now, they're staying on my shelf. Okay, I think we can stay on the floor for this next shelf, which I realize now I'm doing a very bad job of unhauling books because I've only gotten rid of one trilogy. I didn't take any of these books off to unhaul. Whatever, I said I didn't know how many I was going to go through. But up here we have S by, you can't even see this, it's by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. It's one of the weirdest books I've ever read, and if you don't know, I love weird books. It's so good, I have to go back and reread it at some point. They're up here because it's not a series. House of Brides. This one is another one that's a maybe for me. I bought this surprise at the dollar store because I have no self-control. This cover is so pretty and it seemed a little bit interesting. It's kind of like mystery-ish, maybe a little bit thrillery. I don't know. This might be one like Dealing in Dreams where I'll read it and if it doesn't immediately grab me, I will get rid of it. And then we're gonna shift backwards, and here's a book that I'm going to get rid of. So we have The Time of the Witch by Mary Downing Hahn. I love this book. I love Mary Downing Hahn, but I don't know what happened to my copies of the books I had when I was a kid. It was like All the Lovely Bad Ones and Wait Till Helen Comes. I don't know where they went. I wish I had those ones. This is one that I found in a free little library, so I didn't even pay any money for it, and I read it and I enjoyed it, but it doesn't have that nostalgia for me the way other Mary Downing Hahn books have, and I didn't like absolutely love it, so I don't feel the need to keep it. So as cool as this cover is, it's a very old book. It's from like the 80s. Let's see. 1982, so 16 years older than me, but I don't have a need to keep it on my shelf. So adding that to the very small unhaul pile. And then continuing on, it's just all books that I'm still interested in reading or have read and really liked or in keeping for sentimental value. And then over here we have my like writing craft books, and I'm not going to be getting rid of any of those. I have a poetry handbook by Mary Oliver, Save the Cat, a like poetry prompt book, Manga in Theory and Practice, The Transitive Vampire, and then 3 books that were textbooks when I studied literature in college, and I'm going to be keeping all of them. And so we got one more book added to the stack. I'm going to find a better angle for you guys so that we can get to the upper shelves. Okay, so it's kind of at like a tilted angle, but this is the best that I can do, and we're going to stick with it. You can basically see all of the shelves here. My giant chair is still in the way. We're going to continue on. So this shelf, obviously I'm not getting rid of anything on it. This is my Rick Riordan shelf. He's one of my favorite authors of all time. I'm going to be keeping his books. There's another car going by in a really loud manner. I'm so sorry about that. And now that the car has passed, we can continue. Over here, I have my poetry plays and classics. I think we're going to be getting rid of some here, but I don't know what yet. We're just going to go through them, I guess. So I have my 3 Shel Silverstein books. Not going to be getting rid of them. Huge sentimental value for me. I really love Shel Silverstein. He's staying. Up here we have Crush by Richard Sykin and Felicity by Mary Oliver, both staying. I love both of those poets so much. We have the Penguin Book of Women Poets. I don't know if I want to keep this. When is this from? This is from 1978. Wow, 20 years older than me. But it's just a collection of poetry by women. I don't know. I don't really like bind-ups of like multiple people in one thing. I prefer like a poetry collection by one person, but I do really like the cover, and I think we'll keep it. We'll keep it for now. Imaginations by William Carlos Williams. Haven't read it yet, but I have read William Carlos Williams before. Gonna keep it. My Lang Leave books, I'm gonna keep for now. Oh, Aphrodite Made Me Do It. 100% keeping. I love that book so much. And she just put out another book very recently called Artemis Made Me Do It. Cannot wait to get my hands on it. But I'm gonna move these just out of my way. Ooh, they're all sticking together. We have Almost Home by Madison Kuhn. I'm gonna keep this for now because I did really like it. Then we have Love Her Wild by Atticus, which I bought in college because I thought I was that girl. Now I'm not even a girl. I knew I wasn't a girl before then. I'm non-binary. It's fine. I tried to make a funny joke and it didn't land. Not even for me. But Atticus is very much like an Instagram poet. So like very short poems. He does have some photography in here, but overall I'm not really gonna vibe with this. I don't think I ever read it, and I've owned it for like 6 years. So I'm gonna pass this one on. Maybe in the time between now and when I actually bring these to donate, if I have a spare afternoon, I'll read through, because I don't think it'll take me very long. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna be sad about it. So put that over there. The collected poems of Emily Dickinson. Some other things. Ooh, here's one. Ooh, I hope I don't break my thing. This is another anthology of multiple poets. It is 6 American poets. It's got Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, Wallace Stevens, William Carlos Williams, Robert Frost, and Langston Hughes. All poets that I really enjoy, but this is an ugly book. Like, it's just so blocky and bright, and I kind of really hate it. And like I said, I prefer collections by one author rather than bind-ups like this. So, also it has deckled edges. And I don't know about you, but I hate deckled edges with every fiber of my being. It makes the pages harder to turn, it's ugly, the books are more expensive when they have deckled edges. I just can't. I'm sorry if you're a deckled edge fan, it's not for me. I can't. So I'm going to be getting rid of my 6 American Poets book. I don't even know where I got that. I probably bought it secondhand just because it was poetry. But then these two are anthologies that I'm actually published in. I was published in high school, and I don't know, they're not the best because I was in high school, but like the collection that I was published in was poets from like I think 6th grade through high school, all from different states and stuff. So it was kind of a cool experience, but then we just have a couple more books that I'm going to keep. So got rid of a couple. I'm going to put these back in their correct stack before moving on to the plays and classics. Alright, so you can't see because this giant chair is in the way, but up front I actually have 2 copies of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I'm not really a huge fan of multiple copies of the same book, but this is my favorite Shakespeare play, and both of these covers are absolutely gorgeous, so I am keeping both of them, and I have them displayed out front just because they're so pretty. And then behind that, I have some Tom Stoppard and Samuel Beckett that I want to keep both of. I have Twelfth Night by Shakespeare, The Rover by Aphra Behn, which, if you didn't know, Aphra Behn is the first British female author to like make her living from writing. I think I might have gotten some of the details on that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. I really love the Rover. It has a gorgeous cover. If I can move my stuff out of the way. Look at this beautiful cover. I had to read this for class, and I'm so glad I did. I really, really like this play. And then have a lot more Shakespeare, and I also have 4 major plays by Henrik Ibsen. I've read A Doll's House, which is in this. I have not read Ghosts or The Master Builder. I have also not read Hedda Gabler, but I have seen a production of it. So I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of A Doll's House, and I don't think I'm going to be interested in the other ones. Like some other books, I've had this for years, and I have not felt compelled to pick it up. This is an Oxford World Classic, and it does look very, clean, which I appreciate, but overall, I just don't think I'm going to want this. I'm not a big fan of the Henrik Ibsen that I've read, so why would I continue to read more? You know, we're gonna put that on the pile and move on to our classic section. I am barely in frame over here, but you know what? We're gonna keep going. So I have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on top of this pile, which is a very old, chewed up edition, it's missing a corner, and I also didn't particularly like this book. Look at this water damage, wow. But I don't know where I got this book. I'm just gonna keep it forever, because in the cover of it, if I can find it, someone wrote this really beautiful poem, and I can't get rid of that. I just love that so much, and so this, as ugly and beat up and not my style the story is, I'm keeping this book forever. But then we have, underneath that, Northanger Abbey, which is the book, I gotta crouch down to get in frame. This is the book that made me want to unhaul books in the first place. If you saw my wrap-up for August, you will have heard this already. If not, you can go check it out, or just listen to me speak now. I did not like this book, and I just don't want to keep it on my shelf, so yeah, it was okay. I'm just not the biggest fan of Regency era books. There are a couple here and there that I do really like, but overall the time period is just not my thing, which is fine. So, Northanger Abbey, I contemplated keeping it because I have Picture of Dorian Gray and Frankenstein in the same editions, but why? Why would I keep a book just because it matches other ones? If I don't like this book, I'm never going to read it again. I will be keeping Picture of Dorian Gray and Frankenstein because I do love both of those, and I will be rereading them at some point in the future, or at least I've read them multiple times already, so they're going to stay. I don't know if I'm going to be getting rid of any of my other classics. There are some, I have Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I'm not going to get them out because they're in, I don't know if you can see, they're in a stack, and I don't feel like pulling all the books out, but I might get rid of those. I might get rid of my bind-up of the first 3 Oz books just because I wasn't a huge fan of them. I did actually buy them for a story idea that I had in high school that was kind of like a mash-up retelling / sequel to Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz, and Peter Pan, and so I bought all of those. Didn't really like most of them, have since abandoned that story line. I'm gonna keep Peter Pan. I do really like Peter Pan, so that's gonna stay forever. But yeah, I think that's it for that shelf. These next 2 shelves, not getting anything, not unhauling anything, because this is my John Flanagan shelf. I'm out of frame again. This is my John Flanagan shelf, another one of my favorite authors. This is my shelf for Neil Gaiman and Cornelia Funk, 2 more of my favorite authors. I'm not getting rid of anything. So I guess it's moving up to the last 2 shelves up top. I might try and fix the camera angle a little bit just so you can see the shelves a little bit better and I won't have to be crouching down like this to get in frame. Alright, this is the best that I can do. I feel like it's still a little awkward, but we're gonna run with it. So, up here I have my comics, graphic novels, manga, and from these I think I'm gonna get rid of Gloom Cookie. Get it down. So this is a comic graphic novel. I don't really know what the distinction is but it's like Halloween-y kind of story, and I don't really remember much of it. It's like fun, but I'm not gonna read the sequels, and I don't really see a point in keeping this because I don't think I'm gonna reread this. Although maybe again, like with some other stuff, if I have time between now and when I actually get around to donating these, I might pick this one back up just to give another reread for spooky season, because it is very much a spooky book. But I got this when my aunt had moved, and she had a ton of books. She's very much an avid reader like me. We have very similar taste, and she gave me a bunch of old books, and this was one of them. But I think it's time to pass it on to someone who might like it more than I did. And then up here, we actually have Mob Psycho Volume 4, and the reason it's up there is because I just bought it yesterday. I bought Mob Psycho 4, Jujutsu Kaisen 17, and Hell's Paradise 1. I've already read all of Hell's Paradise, loved it. You might know that if you've been on my channel for a while, but we didn't own it physically, so I bought it, and I'm going to collect the rest. But yeah, it didn't fit, so it's up top, and now it's going to have space because I got rid of Gloom Cookie. Hooray! But here I have my anthologies, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated because I can't reach this shelf very well, but I know I want to get rid of some of them. So it might just be me telling you that I'm getting rid of them and then getting them down later. I can take these top couple off, but I know I'm keeping these. I have microfiction. Actually, I might get rid of this one. I had it and I was going to give it to a professor in college, but then COVID happened and we had to evacuate, and I never saw him again because that was my last semester in college. But if I ever see him again, I guess I'll give it to him. I do live very close to the college, so I could just email him and be like, hey, can we meet up and like catch up and stuff? Maybe, I don't know. Then I have After the King, Stories in Honor? Yeah, Stories in Honor of J.R.R. Tolkien. My boyfriend got me this a while ago because I love Lord of the Rings, and I have every intention of reading it, just not anytime soon. I almost just dropped it. But I will be keeping it to be read eventually. Underneath that, however, we have, if I can get them down, Dreadful Young Ladies and Other Stories by Kelly Barnhill. Gonna ignore the sale sticker that I haven't completely ripped off of it. I read this and I really liked it. Some of the stories I like better than others, but I will be keeping it. I have here Myths and Legends of the Middle Ages by H.A. Gerber? I don't know, but I got this secondhand because I really like King Arthur. It has the name Marilyn in it. Marilyn, if this was your book, I have it now. That was weird. I don't know where I was going with that. I've just now noticed it has this really pretty pattern on the edge of every page. And so I don't know. Oh, it's got Beowulf in it, but I already own Beowulf. I've never actually flipped through this. Maybe I will keep this. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say that I want to get rid of this because I don't think I'm ever going to read it. But, like, even though it's not King Arthur, it's King Arthur-esque stories. It does have a couple of King Arthur-type stories, like the Round Table and stuff. So I guess I'm keeping this, even though I had every intention to unhaul it. But that's fine. I will be getting rid of 2 of these books. So up here, I have 3 of the Barnes & Noble leather-bound classics. I will be keeping Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. What I will be getting rid of is Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles and the complete works of William Shakespeare, for very good reasons. One, the complete works of William Shakespeare is a completely unreadable book because the pages are so thin, and plus you know that I already have so many of his plays. I just showed them to you, and I'm not, like, I don't really care about his sonnets that much. I really like his plays, and so I don't really need that if I already have several copies of his other works that I like. And there's a plane going by. I'm going to keep speaking some in the middle of a thought, and I don't want to lose it. Anne Rice, Vampire Chronicles, I'm getting rid of because I've read Interview with the Vampire, really liked it. I've read The Vampire Lestat, thought it was okay. Have no interest in reading Queen of the Damned. Several of my friends have read it, and they all did not like it at all. So I don't need the bind-up of those 3. If I want, I will just order a copy of Interview with the Vampire and just have that one. So as soon as I'm able to take them off the shelf, I'll be unhauling those too. And people who come across them at the thrift store are gonna love them because those are really like expensive editions and they're in really good quality. And then we have my Night Vale books. I have Italian folk tales, which I'm keeping. Treasury of Best Loved Fairy Tales, I'm unsure about. That's one that I'm going to linger on a little bit, but I'm probably going to get rid of it. For now, it can stay. And then I just have Middle Earth Traveler, this book on astronomy, and the Atlas Obscura that I'm keeping because I think they're beautiful. They're just some big books with some pretty pictures and interesting information. And now we come to our last shelf. I have no idea how long I've been filming. This is going to be really annoying to edit, but hopefully it's at least a little bit interesting for you guys to watch. These first 3 books over here are Dread Nation, The Forest of Hands and Teeth, and Paranorman. They're all staying. This is my zombie collection. This is also where the Bone Houses goes, but it's currently on my nightstand because I'm going to be reading it soon. And I have my Ghoulia doll from Monster High. She's the zombie character, so I thought it was, kind of fitting to put her with the zombie books. Then I have some books in Italian, which I want to keep because I want to be able to read them one day. And then I have my Star Wars books. I collect novelizations of book 4, episode 4, Star Wars: A New Hope, because it's my favorite. And so I have 3 different novelizations of that, and I would like to get more. I don't know how many there are out in the world, but I just think it's really fun. And maybe I'll unhaul them at some point in the future because, I don't really read them, but I just think they're cool to have. And then finally, my last section, I have my Dover Thrift Editions, which I'm not keeping because they're an edition of book that I collect. Then I have some nonfiction, which I'm keeping all of because they're all interesting. And what's over here? Oh, the last 2 books are just, one is a Dr. Seuss book that my mom got me for graduating. What is it? I don't know which one it is. It's probably, what is that one called that everyone gets for their graduation? All the Places You'll Go? I don't know, but it's signed by all my family members. And then I have my graduation, my yearbook from college. So I was going to reconfigure the camera to show you all of the books I was unhauling and be able to sit down. But I kind of don't want to do that because that sounds like a lot of work. So I'm just going to count them here. So I have Gloom Cookie is 1, the 3 Hunger Games books, a couple of poetry. Oh, I forgot about The Time of the Witch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 2 classics. Well, Henrik Ibsen and then Northanger Abbey. So that's 9. Plus these 2 is 11. Honestly, not bad. I'm making some space on my shelves for more books, which that's always the aim here, is that I want to make space for books that I will actually love and want to keep on my shelves. And if I have books that either I have no interest in reading, whatever reason I would buy them, but if I get books that I don't really want to read, or I've read them and I know I'm not going to want to reread them or continue on with the series if they're in a series, I don't see a point in keeping them on my shelves. So I guess that's it from me. If for some reason you enjoyed this very strange, rambly, not very well planned video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel for more content. That way I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.